Hello guys and welcome back, and today we want to address a very simple question. Where the hell are the new Synologies? Let's be honest, if you found this video it means that you've been looking for them, whether you've been googling DS220 Plus or DS920 Plus or any one of a myriad of product IDs with the number 20 bunged on the end. Chances are you're wondering, much like me, where are those new releases? And today I want to talk about everything I know, everything I suspect, and what precious little I can confirm for you. But a few disclaimers straight off the bat. I am trying my damnedest to try and get this as unclickbaity as possible. So a few things straight away. One, there's nothing that I'm going to tell you in this video that I've not already discussed in other videos. So if you've watched other ones, stop watching now, you're wasting your time. Two, if you're looking for more precise information and confirmed 100% critical information about these new releases, I'm not going to be able to give you that here. So if that's what you want, please watch another video or watch one of my other videos, or just subscribe and stay tuned for more, whatever's best for you. But with those disclaimers out of the way, let's talk about these new releases. Now, back in I believe early spring, late summer, there was a Synology Solution exhibition in Taiwan. It was around the same time as Computex, and I published a few articles about the new releases, and I did feature a piece on the DS220 Plus. The reason being that on the official Taiwanese page, when it listed invitations to the event, they listed a range of products, and one of those products that was listed was the DS220 Plus, and it was very, very quickly pulled and replaced by a flash station model. But in the short period of time it is there, and I invite you to try out Wayback Time Machine and have a quick look there. Unfortunately, the majority of the snapshots are no longer there. On that information is where we could see that there was a 220 in the works. Now, we've kind of always known there'd be a new 2-bay. There always is. But with this being the period of time and almost 2 years in most regards, compared with the likes of the 918 Plus and the 220 Plus, we're kind of very, very surprised that we've not seen the new range of 2-bays and the Play series and stuff like that. And all we've heard about so far is a new 1-bay NAS and a new 4-bay NAS, both in the J series, the DS420J and the DS120J. At the risk of being fantastically unfaithful to a brand, it's worth saying that neither of these, I would say, knocked your socks off. They're fairly budget devices and weren't enormous leaps from their predecessors, although fair play to the DS418J, it is definitely a big leap over the 420J, is definitely a leap over its predecessor within its own field. So where are these new devices? Well, as I've mentioned in certain NAS Compare articles, I have spoke with a number of different people at Synology in a number of different regions, and I've never really got the same answer. I've got very similar answers that overlap. And whether it's, in off-the-record chats, or I'm not going to commit to any particular person here, or on the record in videos, it's worth highlighting that everything I've heard so far stems from one of three things. One, the existing range of 18 series devices more than fulfill the needs of DSM 6.2 and, of course, DSM 7 coming. And that's not a bad thing, because as long as the current range of devices can support that software to its fullest potential, theoretically there's no need for there to be a newer series of devices, and that keeps costs low. The second thing I'd heard is about the Intel J4000 series of processors. Now, this is where I step into the non-confirmed territory, because there's many people have told me that the new series of Synologies arrived with that J4000 series CPU, and that's the J4005, the J4105, and the J4115, all three CPUs we've seen on other NAS brands. Although different sources have tried to confirm that with me, because it's never been verified, I don't really talk about it that much on the channel. That said, I do strongly believe that the new series of Synology NAS will arrive with that greater series of Celeron CPUs. They've got better graphics support and are just a more proficient and more capable CPU. But, of course, without confirmation on that, I can't tell you that's what it'll be. And of course, with these CPUs, and particularly the Celeron CPUs, there is talk of certain CPU shortages. But once again, this is all conjecture, and therefore not something that I or you should really be talking about with any degree of certainty, hence this video. Now, what does that mean for the current series of NAS devices? Because, as I touched on just now, The current range of Synology NAS support DSM 6.2 insanely well. Here in front of me, I've got the 918 Plus, probably one of my favourite NASs I've ever used since I've even got interested in this subject. And here we have the DS218 Plus, and this is a NAS that has just come from strength to strength. And, 2 years since its release, it's still an incredibly popular NAS device. And if you are looking to buy a NAS storage device at the moment, I can't say there's anything wrong with these two devices. They are still fantastic. I mean, they both cover two different end users. They both service both business and home users to a great degree. And in terms of what we've seen so far of the new desktop series in the 2020 series, none of them outdo this, with the exception of one I'll talk about at the end of the video. But when it comes to this new range of devices, it should be mentioned that even if 5 minutes after this video, if I was leaked information about a new desktop, a new disk station Synology NAS, and I made a video and a NAS Compare article and let you guys know about it, chances are you would not see physical release of that product until way into the start of next year. And if you are looking for something for your network attached storage needs, there is nothing wrong with the current range. There really isn't. You're still going to get the same warranty, you've still got great hardware, and it's still going to run the software exceptionally well, and in some cases as good as it gets. But I did allude to that one NAS there, didn't I? And that, of course, if you followed my previous videos, is the DS920XS. Now, this is a different kind of beast, and it's important for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, it's a new 6-bay NAS, something that Synology have relatively new in. It's only been the last 18 months or so that they've been dabbling in the world of 6-bay NASs, give or take, maybe 2 years just in. And this NAS arrives with a number of key features that a lot of their modern hardware all have. For a start, it arrives with a Xeon-based CPU, the same CPU that we saw inside the DS3617XS. But on top of that, it arrives with 4 LAN, a PCIe slot, and NVMe SSD. Now, the fact that it's got NVMe SSD bays inside that 6-bay is very, very, very interesting. But what's even more interesting in terms of the development of Synology NAS is that NAS, the DS1620XS, has got 2.5 gigabit Ethernet ports on the rear. Now, this is very, very interesting because this suggests that Synology are now opening up to the idea of multi-gigabit ports as standard. There are a company that I've said before keeps 10 gigabit Ethernet at arm's length. I've never understood why, to be honest. I think 10 GBE is very much here and it's affordable. But the fact that they're opening up the idea of a NAS that arrives with 2.5 GBE as standard, something that only a brand like Acer Store ever did before everyone else, it's worth highlighting that this means that we could be seeing 2.5 GBE on those newer NASs. Once again, could, no confirmation, remember that. But I think it would be remiss to suggest that the new series will not take that into consideration. And even though we have seen some other re-releases recently, like the RS820 Plus and I believe the 420, or 820, whatever that rack mount is, which have left us a little bit underwhelmed. I do think some of these newer devices are going to take a new series of hardware, but in an external fashion. And that's just another reason why you shouldn't really be waiting for them if you need a solution now. Because the newer generation, it looks to me like we're going to see a lot of the same of what we've already got, but with a lot of the hardware changes being just that, hardware changes. And the amount of output you get from these NASs, unless they really mix up that CPU, start introducing a Pentium like we saw on the 916 Plus, I think the current range is still more than enough right now for most users, with the added bonus, of course, that you will see some bargains. But I'm going to wrap things up here. I've tried to stay on the straight and narrow here, but if you've got any questions or maybe something you disagree with, let me know in the comments. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Click like if you enjoyed the video, click subscribe to learn more, and click the bell to be notified about similar videos to this, thanks to YouTube's algorithm. And when we do know about new releases, it will mean that you will get that notification. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.